Welcome back, guys. Today I am going to basically download and install. Well, I've already downloaded and I am going to do an install of Debian testing stretch. Now, last week I did a video on it, and but it was the smaller CD size install, and I built it up from there. And today I'm going to do the stretch or Debian testing install, but I'm going to do the DVD install, which turns out it's actually it looks 3.7 gigabytes, but let's see, it's actually 4 gig. So I downloaded it, I have burned it to a USB drive, and I am just getting ready to do the install. So we will see just how comprehensive this is, whether there are any differences between the CD image and the full DVD image, and what they have added that accumulates up to 4 gigabytes. So I'm gonna do my thing on the install, and I'll be back with you, and you'll be looking at the Debian testing desktop. This here is my Manjaro XFCE desktop. So that is it for this short beginning segment of the video. I'll be back shortly with the finished Debian install. Okay, I'm back, guys. I did the install. Now I'm back at my Manjaro install, and the reason I am is because I during the install, Debian will ask you if you want the GRUB or the bootloader installed to the master boot record, and I do not. So I selected install to the root partition, or basically the hard drive that I installed to. Now I installed to a particular partition on that hard drive, and so now all I need to do is open up a terminal, and first thing I'm going to do is have the system, or basically GRUB, is going to look for all of the OSs, operating systems, on my computer. So I'm going to run OS prober, and that ordinarily doesn't take too long. It's going to look for the distributions. Now you can see that I have Windows, Manjaro Linux, and Debian, the new stretch. So it located it on partition SDD3. So now OS prober has located that operating system. So now what I need to do is update GRUB. So I am going to run update GRUB, and it'll create a new GRUB config. It will, when I reboot, it's going to find all of the operating systems, and I'll be able to select Debian from the list. So being that Manjaro is the controlling operating system, when I boot up, Manjaro will be first, then it will be Windows, and then it will be my second Manjaro install. I have 2 on this particular computer, and then the Debian. So I will be back with you in the Debian install. Be right back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Well, this is the install of Debian testing, and this is the large 4 gig install. Now it doesn't look a whole lot different than the smaller install, which is about 700 megabytes. This is 4 gig, And it appears that, I mean, there are some programs, packages installed that were not in the other one, but doesn't look that much. Now, you've got LibreOffice. Let me go through just basically. You've got the XFCE menu. This is not the whisker menu. I'm going to add that later, but I really haven't done a whole lot to it. I'll go through what I did so you can see if some of the things that I did you might want to try. But for settings, it's got your usual settings. Now, I did change the sources list, and I went through Synaptic. I'll show you that in a minute. So for accessories, it's got the usuals. I added leaf pad. Everything else was pretty much there. Education is just math. Graphics, I haven't added anything. This is what was out of the box. Oh, it does come with GIMP, so that might be one of the big reasons why it's so large. Iceweasel is the only internet application that was installed. Multimedia, I installed VocoScreen and SM Player. Those are the only two that I installed there. Office, I didn't touch anything. It's got LibreOffice and the usuals. System, of course, I didn't really add anything. This is just the basic XFCE. So this is what it looks like. I don't. When you first start up, you have a choice of whether you're going to open with one basically blank panel and configure everything yourself, or start off with the default configuration, which is what I did. At least you have a few things. You have a panel up front, up top. You have a panel at the bottom, kind of like a dock. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like the theme or the wallpaper, but again, these are just put in as a starting point for you. They fully expect that you're going to modify it and tweak it and make it look like something that you want to look at and use every day. Now let me take first thing I did. Now I just want to go over a couple things with you. When Linux can be complicated, and of course I'm not going to commit everything to memory, so I make a lot of notes and I put them in my documents folder. Now for example, it doesn't come with a sudo command. And so basically this is what you do. I have all the instructions here to add the sudo command and then to add your name to the sudoers file. So I put it all in a text document, and that way when I start up a new distribution, especially with Debian, which can be a little bit complex, I can add in what I need to be able to run this properly every day. Now, so for example, to create the sudo command, you type su, then the password, so now you're running as root, apt-get install sudo, and then add user. The command is add user, your name, and then sudo. So now you become a sudoer. But to add you officially to the sudoers file, you have to open a text editor, go into etc sudoers, and then add a line that says below this line, the sudo line, you add your name and the configuration. So basically you're giving yourself sudoers privileges. And so I did that because that's important. The other thing I did was in order to be able to add a lot of the multimedia codecs and packages, it's a good thing to add the Deb Multimedia repo to your sources. And so what I did is, the easiest way to do it is to go into Synaptic Package Manager. and go into settings and then repositories, and then it will bring up a box where you've got all your repositories listed. Now, the first thing you want to do is uncheck the CD-ROM, because if you don't uncheck those two, every time you go to install a package, it's going to look for the CD-ROM. So you want to uncheck those, and then you can see down here. Now, this is the stretch or testing install. And so it gives you the ability to install a lot of packages that are not in stable, and also it gives you later versions of the packages. So I left all of the repos, the top 4 that you see here with a check mark, those are the default repos for the stretch or testing install. I added the Deb Multimedia. Now there's a specific procedure that you need to follow first when you want to install. First you have to pull in the Deb file with the keyring, and then install the keyring, which is the security code, and then do an apt-get update. Then once you do that, then you can add these 2 lines to your sources, which is what I did, these 2 lines. Now, once you do that, you do another apt-get update, and it will give you the ability to download a lot of multimedia packages and codecs and things like that. So that's what you, and all this information is available online, but I don't want to keep going online all the time to find this stuff. So I create these text files with the instructions, and then I can just copy and paste. Makes it a lot easier. So that's how I keep track of all of my text files. Now, let's take a look. Now, remember that package that I told you about, Cherry Tree? I'm going to install that, and then we'll use it to open all of my documents. So if I go to Cherry Tree and I import from a folder and I import my documents, this is what it looks like. So all of my documents should populate here. Import. Oh, that's because they're not in documents. Haha, they're in my there they are. They were in my USB drive. I haven't copied them over to my documents folder yet. But you can see all of the text files. So if I want to fix my GRUB boot file, this is how I do it. All of my Arch information. For example, in Arch, to play BattleNet games, you have to install this file. And so I won't remember all this stuff. And so I've got it all set up in text files, and then whenever I need to, it's like if I want to auto mount a partition or a drive, well, that's how I these are my instructions to be able to auto mount a drive. So I have everything in my I have everything in text files on a USB drive, and then whenever I do an install, I just plug in the USB, and then I can pull up all the instructions that I need to be able to get the system set up the way that I want it. So I'm going to pause the video here, and I'll be back with my finished desktop configuration. So I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, welcome back, guys. Well, this is the finished product. I basically put in the Vertex theme, the Vertex icons, this Debian wallpaper. I put the panel on the left, and on the bottom I have the whisker menu. Up the top I have the standard XFCE menu because I like that one also. Then I've got my open programs here. Then I've got my weather, volume, Banshee is running, clip it. Debian actually configured my Ethernet and Wi-Fi right out of the box. I have P-Sensor as I always do. And let's see if we can move that a little bit. So there is P-Sensor. I have Redshift, Synapse. I installed Compton, and I have a specific Compton configuration file that I use, which basically eliminates screen tearing and also gives me all of the graphics, the normal graphics. Sometimes if you don't have the compositing set up, you'll get a funky looking window on your Synapse. So basically I disabled the standard compositing. As you can see, if you go into Window Manager Tweaks, I don't have that enabled because I'm using Compton with a specific configuration file. And placement, I always try to place the windows at the center of the screen. It doesn't always work that well in XFCE. I've noticed that in Mate, when you set it for the center, it only has a on-off. So when you click for a center, it pretty much does it all the time. I noticed that with XFCE, sometimes even though you've put center, when you see, in this case, the terminal is opening in the center, which is great. Sometimes it opens in the top left. But everything is running stable, no problems at all. I do have Plank installed right there with all my commonly used programs. I have the Plank default theme, and there's all the standard programs that I want to be able to access quickly. So I've got it set for auto hide, and that's it. So Debian testing straight from the Debian website, downloaded, installed, everything is going good. Now one thing that I'm doing, I have a this is the computer that I have with onboard graphics and sound. And the onboard graphics is okay. It's the HD 4600 Intel. But it has a lot of limitations. And so I ordered a... Now I don't have a lot of room in this case because it's a small form factor case. So I ordered a NVIDIA single slot, low profile graphics card. Has 2 gigs of video RAM and gets really good reviews. It cost me, I think, $80. So that's coming today. I'm going to install that in this computer, and it shouldn't take long. Once I receive it, it'll be up and running within 10 or 15 minutes. But I will install it, and I think I'll probably do a little bit of a video on the install process for that video card. Then I'm going to have to, because I'm going from Intel onboard graphics to NVIDIA, I'm going to have to install the NVIDIA drivers within Debian. Now in Manjaro, it's usually pretty easy. And in Ubuntu-based distributions, it's usually pretty easy through the driver manager. But with Debian, it's not quite that easy. And if with straight Arch, it's not quite that easy. So I'm going to be setting that up, and what I'll do is I'll try to do a video on the install and also show you how to configure the NVIDIA card within your Debian distribution. So guys, that is it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is Debian testing, code name Stretch. Everything is configured, everything is running fine. And please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon, guys. Take care.